Okay, so the question begs, where does one begin to stockpile? Let's talk about it. Back in a minute. Morning, this is Jan from New York City, and I love helping people to keep some more of their own hard earned money. Could that person be you? I sure hope it is. How's everybody doing this morning? As always, I hope that this audio video finds everybody doing well. And you know something? I don't know what it is about that first cup of coffee in the morning, but for whatever the reason is, it's like my moment where you take that first sip and go, oh, yeah, today will be just fine. I hope that's you too. Listen, as always, I hope you're doing well. I want to talk to you today a little bit more about stockpiling because these days, well, these days are, let's say, a little extra more challenging. Can we do it even if you're on a low income? Now, that's a good question. Can a low income person or family situation, does that mean you cannot stockpile? Actually, I look at it this way. It's an even more important reason to stockpile. But the question begs, where does stockpiling begin? Now, the first thing that most people are going to say, they might say their basement, they might say a spare closet, they might say a certain type of a shelving unit, all fine and dandy, but that's not what I'm going to talk about at this exact moment. We'll get into that in a few minutes, the physical space thing. But you want to know where it really begins? In your head, in your mind. To make up your mind that this is a good thing to do. Because if you're not really buying the idea, well, my neighbor stockpiles, so I should do it. Or I read about it in books and magazines, that's why I should do it. Or the lady, all these people, ladies, gentlemen, everybody all over these platforms suggest stockpiling for groceries. No, the reason should come from your own mind because you have made up your own mind, your own situation, and the importance of stockpiling. Now, if you begin in the right place, I think this makes a huge difference in how the outcome turns out. Am I right or am I right? I know I'm right on this case. Because if you're just doing to get along just to get along, that's not the right reason. Okay. The right reason, in my opinion, is to just play on the safe side. It really all boils down to that. And not only that, for convenience. I mean, it's really just that simple. It's really nothing more or nothing less than the convenience. And you get another benefit from the stockpiling of the groceries. You get peace of mind. Peace of mind is a good thing. Even folks that have a lower income. You want to know a lower income situation, but yet you could still walk into your makeshift pantry. Let's just call it that. Your makeshift stockpiling pantry. If you don't have like X room, for example, dedicated room to do it. Not everyone has that. No. And this is where we have to get a little bit creative. Now, is it expensive to begin a stockpile of groceries? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, the cheapest way is the freest way. Well, wait a minute. How could I begin a free stockpile of groceries? Well, look in your own active pantry. Yes, if that's what it's going to take. So that would be step one. Look in your own active pantry. Well, what's an active pantry? That's what you're working out of in your kitchen, like immediately, like the groceries that you bought, hopefully for the next week or two at the very, very, very least. Okay. And I'm just talking about your regular, current, active pantry. Okay. I know back in the old days, this reminds me of an old joke. Okay. There's an old joke about why this lady used the wrong size pan to make a meatloaf. Okay. Well, my grandmother did that. So I used this wrong size pan to make the meatloaf. She wanted to do a 2-pound meatloaf and keep cooking it in a 1 pound pan. It just didn't work out, but she did it anyway, and it never came out so good. But why do you do that? Well, my mother did it. Then you ask the mother, well, why do you do it? Well, my mother did it. Then you find out the great grandmother, the only reason why she did it that way was because she couldn't get that other pan. That doesn't mean that generationally down the road it's the right thing to do. So if, let's say, our parents didn't stockpile or anything like that, break the cycle. You can do it. You can do it. And I honestly don't even believe that a low income is a barrier. Okay. So let's begin with the mindset. Every single one of us, even those who are starting, let's say this is day zero. Okay. Day zero, that you're going to begin a stockpile. Make up your mind for your own really good reasons why. I could offer suggestive reasons why. How about unexpected layoff? There might be a few around the bend here or there. You never know. We hope not. We hope not. How about bad weather? Can happen to anybody, any place. That's, I mean, nobody's excluded from the possibility of terrible weather, right? How about even temporary illness? Let's say even just a simple cold or a simple flu for a week and a half and knocks you off your feet. You can't get to that grocery store, for example. Okay. Now, where do you stockpile? Now the physicality of where does one begin to stockpile? So let's begin with this. You never did it before. You go into your active pantry, remove 2 cans from that active pantry. Now that is dedicated to begin your stockpile today. That means you don't even have to go to the grocery store yet. Okay. So you remove those 2 cans of items, whatever it is. Many times it's soup or canned vegetables or canned fruit. Listen, it's a start. Doesn't have to be canned either. Could be a box of, let's say, I'm just using these examples. It could be some pasta, could be box soup mix, whatever the case may be. Feel free to take that, okay, and walk away with it and put it away. Again, the question begs, well, I don't know where to put it. Okay, look around you. Do you have a spare shelf? Those old-fashioned sayings about journeys beginning with just a couple of steps? You know where I'm going with that. Well, so too the stockpiling. You don't necessarily have to start out with, let's say, 3 panels of grocery store shelves that are empty to work with for your 2 cans. No, everybody starts at the beginning. So make this the day. Today is the day I am going to begin my stockpile. I don't even have to spend a dime. I am going to look around my active pantry and I'm going to take 2, or if you want some more items, that's up to you. You don't have to stop at the 2, okay? Because you may have purchased way more than you realized, etc., etc. Okay, there you go. Let's start at the beginning with a shelf. Now, most people could find an empty shelf. And if you can't find one, there's probably a shelf that has a bunch of useless stuff on it. And with spring being literally around the corner, this is what's great about spring cleaning. Spring cleaning kind of forces us to face the music, kind of forces us, when we start with the deep cleaning and the de-junking, declutterizing. And then all of a sudden, when you create that space, you realize, wow, I didn't realize how much space I actually have. A lot of people believe that they lack space, and it's actually not true. They're not lacking space. They just have too much clutter. So get rid of the junk. I know that could be another video and probably may turn into another video eventually. But let's continue with this. Almost every single person listening to this show has a shelf of some sort. It could be in a closet. It could be a standalone, wherever. No shelf at the moment? Okay. Can you get a little bit of a cardboard box? Now there's no excuse. Well, I don't know. Of course you could get a cardboard box. Begin at the beginning. Now, some people are extremely creative. And I know I ask this question every few months, But every few months, I'll hear a topic, let's say on the current events, if you will, that will trigger in my mind's eye. It will make me think of situations where, yep, good to stockpile. Yep, good to stockpile. Yep, glad I'm building my own stockpile. Yep, 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 and yep. Okay. So therefore, I am asking my viewers, my listeners, to tell me some of the most unusual but workable ways that you yourself have placed your stockpile. Now, you might have an existing table, a spare table, like a utility type table, and it's in the corner of a room and you hardly use it, but that takes up a lot of foot space under the table. Some of them take up as much as, let's say, 6 feet, 6 feet by 3 feet, underneath. That's a lot of floor space going to waste. Okay. So you could cover that area up easily. Cover the table with a, pretty cloth, and you could start storing in your boxes those canned good items, those box items for a song. So there's really, truly, there's no excuse. Most people have some sort of a table where they can do it. But start at the beginning and don't think it's so overwhelming and impossible. Okay. That's another thing. And I want to get into that tomorrow because with so many things going on right now, in general, in life, I really believe that it's worth another show to continue this topic. Okay. Deal, deal. So come back tomorrow. I'm going to talk about some more stockpiling situations. Take good care now. And by the way, I really need your help in doing something. So if you'd be so kind, please do this. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care of you and your wonderful family. Bye bye.